Despite Russian spokesman Dmitry Peskov's statements to the contrary, in the wake of the Assad regime falling to an Islamic fundamentalist rebel coalition on December 8th, there are indications that the Russian military might be abandoning their bases in Syria. As reported by Naval News, the exodus actually started on December 2nd, a few days before the regime's collapse, when the Russian auxiliary ship Yelnya, a Project 160 Altay-class oiler, departed Tartus Naval Base. And our friends at USNI News report that a satellite image from December 5th shows 3 Russian Navy guided missile frigates, 2 from the Admiral Gorshkov class and 1 from the Admiral Grigorovich class, an improved Kilo-class attack submarine, and 2 support ships pierside at Tartus, while another image from December 10th shows the naval base abandoned. Another satellite image from the same day shows the 3 Russian Navy frigates off the coast of Syria. It's unclear whether those ships intend to loiter at sea until the Russian government can work out a deal to remain at Tartus, or they'll ultimately return to Russia. As USNI News editor Sam Legrone points out, the Gorshkov and Grigorovich class frigates are the newest ones in the Russian fleet and can carry the Caliber long-range land attack missile as well as the Sircon hypersonic anti-ship missile. At this point, the Russian Air Force has not abandoned Maimim Air Base at Latakia, but satellite images have revealed an arrival of transports at the field, which could be an indication of an evacuation posture should HTS decide they're willing to attempt to oust the Russians by force. At the same time as the Israeli Defense Force widened the buffer zone into the Golan Heights and conducted more strikes against purported Syrian chemical weapon sites, they also attacked what remained of the Syrian Navy in port at Latakia, about 50 miles north of Tartus, sinking the Russian-made Osa-class patrol boats tied to the pier. The Osa class is armed with the SSN-2C Stick surface-to-surface anti-ship cruise missiles. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz confirmed the strike, saying, "The IDF has been operating in Syria in recent days to strike and destroy strategic capabilities that threaten the state of Israel. We operated to destroy the Syrian fleet with great success." As Sam writes, Tartus has been a key base for Russian power projection, providing a logistics hub for naval forces. Built by the Soviets in the early 1970s, the base was seldom used after the Cold War until Russian forces invaded Crimea in 2012. Russian forces were key to supporting the regime of Bashar al-Assad. After that, Tartus hosted ships that were used for Russian presence operations during the early days of the invasion of Ukraine. Here's the latest Institute for the Study of War map of Syria. The red is territory currently controlled by HTS, who have assumed power from the Assad regime's former prime minister. The pink-shaded area is what ISW labels lost government territory, which is an area rapidly vacated by Assad's forces and not currently under HTS control. The light purple are areas controlled by the Turkish-backed Syrian National Army, who allied with HTS for the final push into Damascus that caused Bashar Assad to flee to Moscow. The light green areas in the oil-rich eastern part of Syria are controlled by Kurdish forces known as the Syrian Defense Force, currently supported by somewhere between 500 and 1,000 U.S. military special forces troops, as well as American air power based in Jordan and aboard the aircraft carrier USS Harry S. Truman in the eastern Mediterranean. And the yellow areas labeled Other Opposition in the Legend are controlled by various forms of ISIS. All of those different colors are an indication of how problematic a stable peace is across the whole of Syria, particularly the long-standing division between the Turkish-backed SNA and the American-backed Kurdish SDF. As Turkey can lay claim to facilitating HTS's success in ousting Assad, they have the clout to prevent them from allowing the Kurds to be part of any new government, even under the auspices of a federation. That dynamic, coupled with where the oil is and the ongoing threat of ISIS spreading again, is a recipe for chaos. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the region, the American Navy's battle with the Houthis continues. U.S. Central Command said that on December 10th, U.S. Navy destroyers the USS Stockdale and the USS O'Kane successfully defeated a range of Houthi-launched weapons while transiting the Gulf of Aden. According to CENTCOM, the destroyers were escorting 3 U.S.-owned, operated, and flagged merchant vessels that were targeted by multiple one-way attack uncrewed aerial systems and 1 anti-ship cruise missile. The Arleigh Burke-class destroyers successfully engaged all of those Houthi weapons, most likely using SM-2 and SM-6 standard missiles. All right, that'll do it for this episode. We'll continue to bring you updates as the intel becomes available, so if you're not already a subscriber, become one so you don't miss anything. And in the meantime, I look forward to talking to you again very soon.